is John Pristine with Pristine Health, where we eat clean and live healthy. A few months ago, I believe it was back in November. I made a video saying it was time for me to lose some weight. I had gotten up to 232 pounds. I thought that was a little bit too heavy for me. I thought I was a little too bulky. Again, a little too heavy for me. And I wanted to get down to 210 pounds. I wanted to get down to 210 pounds. And today, that was again back around the November time frame. And today I am 217 pounds. Today in February 2023, I am 217 pounds. So since November, December, January, February, so in about 3 months, maybe a little bit over 3 months. I think I made that video like early November. So in that amount of time, I've lost 15 pounds, something like that. I went from 232 down to now 217. So how did I do that? I did that by, number one, decreasing my calorie intake per day and trying to burn more calories than I take in on a day-to-day basis. So I would ingest no more than 1,800 calories a day. Some days I would only take in 1,000 calories a day, and I make sure I burn more than that. I would work out at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, and I make sure that I burn more calories than I take in. Now, that was difficult going through the holiday season, going through Thanksgiving and the Christmas season, so you have the holiday dinners and the holiday dinner leftovers. So, I went through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and then on top of that, I was traveling a lot, and when I travel, I don't tend to eat as healthy as I do when I'm not traveling. So it was kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult getting through the holidays, trying to lose weight. But the first 10 pounds weren't all that bad. weren't all that difficult to lose. The first 10 pounds came off pretty quick. These next 10 pounds, so I went down from 220. Not 220. I went down from 232 to 222 pretty quickly. But since then, trying to get from 222, the next 10 pounds down to 212, that's been taking a little bit longer. Why? I'm not exactly sure. I'm still making sure that I have a calorie deficit every day, meaning that I burn more calories than I take in. So I'm not sure why these next 10 pounds, getting down, losing these next 10 pounds, are proven to be more difficult. Now, the fact that I'm losing, I think, is what you call visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that wraps around your internal organs in your deep within your abdominal cavity. Visceral fat is the fat that wraps around your internal organs deep within your abdominal cavity. And too much visceral fat is unhealthy and flat out dangerous. You need some visceral fat in order for your body to function properly, but too much of it is dangerous. The subcutaneous fat is the fat that is just below your skin that you can pinch, that you can see. You can't necessarily see visceral fat until it gets out of control. You have a big pot belly. Visceral fat will creep up on you, which is something I'm very conscious of. When I'm starting out, that's why I keep track of my weight, because just because you don't necessarily look overweight yet, you could be overweight or be creeping up to that point to where you are overweight, because the fat that's building up is the visceral fat inside your abdominal cavity that's wrapped around your internal organs. It could be that fat that's building up that you can't see yet. You can't see. So, since you can't see it, you can, erroneously assume that there's nothing to worry about. but that visceral fat will creep up on you. It'll creep up on you. So if you notice yourself, I think you should, in my opinion, you should really keep track of your weight at all times. Every week keep track of your weight. And if you notice yourself creeping up in weight, keep in mind that it could be the visceral fat that's building up in your abdominal cavity, and you want to take care of that before it gets out of control, before it turns into a full-on pot belly. So anyway, again, I think that the fat that I'm losing is what you call the visceral fat, because I don't see that much of a difference. I don't see that much of a difference that I can see, just in general, in my across my torso, even in my legs and all that. I don't see that much of a difference. I see a little bit of a difference, a little bit more definition, but not that much. So that's why I believe the fat that I'm losing is what's called the visceral fat. The visceral fat that's deep within your abdominal cavity, that wraps around your internal organs. So again, what I'm doing to lose this weight, making sure I have a calorie deficit at the end of each day, meaning I burn more calories than I take in. How do I do that? I do that through one way I do that is through intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting, where there's a certain part of the day you eat, a certain part of the day you don't eat, a certain 12 hours in my case that I eat, a certain 12 hours that I don't eat. So me personally, I don't eat after 7 p.m., maybe 8 some days. I don't eat after 7 or 8 p.m. And then I only eat during the hours of 7 in the morning to 7 p.m., 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., or 8 a.m., 7, 8 a.m. to 7, 8 p.m. And that's called intermittent fasting. And then, of course, when I am eating, I try to eat the most healthy foods that I can find, that I can get my hands on. So when I'm limiting my calories that I'm taking in, I make sure that these are high quality calories that are from high quality foods, calories that are not empty calories, but calories that come along with nutritional benefit. So a bag of Lay's potato chips, the kind that you see at the checkout when you go to the grocery store, a bag like that, not a little bag, but I guess what you call the medium-sized bag, eating that whole bag is 470 calories. That's 470 calories of, say, the 1,800 calories that I budget to intake for that day. But those potato chips have little to no nutritional value. So if I'm going to take in 470 calories, I want it to give me some, not just the calories, but some nutritional value. Give me some protein. Give me some, vitamin C. Give me some fiber, something. And potato chips don't do that. So instead of eating that bag of potato chips at 470 calories, I would eat some almonds or some cashews, some pecans, something like that. Some pistachios, which are also high in calories, but they give me some protein, they give me some fiber. They give me a lot more nutritional benefit. Another thing I do, of course, is I make sure I exercise every day. It doesn't have to be heavy exercise, especially when you're intermittent fasting. Sometimes when you're fasting, when you've reduced your calorie intake per day, if you're a man my size, 6'2", 217 pounds, if you reduce your calorie intake, a very intense workout can be intense. It can be very taxing on your body, and just can be pretty hard on you. So you don't have to have like a super intense workout. You can do a light workout. Like a lot of times I would just walk. My neighborhood, walk for a couple miles, or get on the elliptical machine, a low impact exercise, and just do that for about 30 minutes, or get on the row machine and do that for 15 minutes, something like that. So I make sure I exercise every day, at least 5 days a week, every day, sometimes twice a day. Another thing I do in losing weight is when I'm trying to lose weight, is I try to make sure I get the proper amount of rest. Getting the proper amount of rest is important, because when your body is not well rested, it increases stress in your body, increases the cortisol levels in your body, and it makes it harder. It makes it harder to lose weight. So getting the proper amount of rest is very important. Now, I'm a pretty health conscious person, because this is John Pristine with Pristine and Healthy. I'm a pretty health conscious person, but getting the proper amount of rest is the thing that I struggle the most with. I've struggled with that for years. It is really a challenge for me, getting the proper amount of rest. because for whatever reason, when it's time to go to bed, it seems like I always find an excuse to do just one more thing, and I end up, not getting in bed on time and not getting the proper amount of rest. Last night I got good rest, even though I went to bed after midnight. I got a good 7-8 hours of sleep. But getting the proper amount of rest is getting the proper amount of rest is very important when it comes to losing weight, when you're trying to lose weight. So yes, I am now 217 pounds. Down from 217 pounds, down from the 232 pounds I was back in sometime in early November. So I have 7 more pounds to go to get down to my goal of 210 pounds. So if I lose 2 pounds per week, we're going into the second week of February. So what I plan to do is lose 2 pounds per week. So by the end of next week, by Saturday next week, hopefully I'll be at 215. Following week, I'll be at 213. The week after that, I'll be at 211. And then the week after that, I'll be at 209. I will have reached and surpassed my goal by 1 pound. I will have reached my goal of 210 pounds. And again, I think the fat that I'm losing is the what you call the visceral fat. The fat that's deep within your abdominal cavity that wraps around your internal organs. I'm losing a little bit of what you call I'm losing a little bit of what you call the subcutaneous fat, the fat that's just beneath the fat that is just beneath your skin, the subcutaneous fat that you can pinch, that you can see. Losing just a little bit of that, but I think mostly what I'm losing is the visceral fat, the fat that you can't necessarily see until it gets out of control and you have a full-on pot belly. I also don't think that I'm losing very much muscle. I may have lost a little bit, but I don't think I'm losing very much muscle. Sometimes when you're losing weight, you can lose muscle along with it. But I've been maintaining. I haven't been lifting weights like really, really hard or anything like that. But I have been doing push-ups every now and then, pull-ups, wall squats, planks. Just exercises that'll keep my muscles toned. So I don't think I've lost much muscle. Maybe a little bit. But again, 7 more pounds to go. 7 more pounds to go. Down from 232 pounds. Down from 232 pounds. Now at 217 pounds. 7 pounds to go to get down to my goal of 210. It's been November, December, January, February, a little over 3 months to get to this point. I plan on losing 2 pounds per week for the next 3-4 weeks to get down to 210 pounds. Again, this last little bit appears to be, or feels like it's a little more challenging than the first part, than losing the first 10 pounds. But I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try to make it to 210 pounds. This has been John Pristine with Pristine Health, where we eat clean and live healthy.